Hello and welcome back to the Midlands Outdoors channel, back with another video today. Here at Hagley Park, another revisit. I've always wanted to come back to here since 1 year ago. It's some really beautiful things around here. You've got the palladium stuff, and I'll go and show you that one more time, and also the rotunda, which is right away at the back. So I've just paid my ticket to come all the way through, which is still £10, which is really good. And we've been greeted with this information board here. It says deer have been in Hagley Park since 1564. So right, here we go, just walking down the first path to go all the way around. I will actually show you a photo map of the place in a little while. I'll drop it on the screen for you. But you just see all the beautiful views going all the way around. I just really do love it at times. You get the deers onto there grazing. I've also seen the deers when I've stood up Clent Hills right away at the top looking over the Hagley Park itself. You see them all the way on this field here onto the corner. I remember going back a few years ago and I looked up Clent Hills and viewed all the way down with my Nikon P900 and zoomed right away in to see the deers onto it. It was really cool. And it was actually all private back then, so this land wasn't used as much until it was actually open to the public not long ago, about a year ago or so. But I think it's really good that I've actually opened this up to the public. I mean, £10 isn't really bad to come to this place. And I've been told the season ticket is actually £40. It's actually going to go up in price. I'm not too sure how much by. I think it was an extra £15. But once more, it is actually still worth the money because you've got all this land to explore. It is really massive and it's actually bigger than what I thought it would be, because you can actually walk around the several paths that lead around various different areas into Hagley Park itself. You've got the castle right away at the top, you've got the rotundas, you've even got the palladium, which is right away at the bottom, the palladium bridge, and there is actually some really nice pools. So right, let's go all the way down and we're going to take the path on the left. But I've just noticed there is quite a lot of old trees in Hagley Park. You can just imagine how far they really do date back to when they was actually planted. You've got these here. Then all the way around, I've just noticed this one, whether it's been struck by lightning. This one does view very old. Wow. When was this one actually planted? Yeah, you can just see it is absolutely chipping away, so that is really dating back a bit. It's really cool to see things like that once more. It just shows how far this estate really does date back. Well, I mean, they call this place Hagley Park, but in realistic view, it's an estate, because any big land what's connected to a hall is called an estate. So, right, here's a map of Hagley Park itself, but you can just see by viewing of it, it is absolutely massive. And the first time I came here, I thought, well, it's not going to be big in size, but when you walk all of it, you think, wow, it's definitely worth the money. So there we go, there's a map, and I'll drop a PDF link in the description, so if you want to download the copy, then feel free to. So let's get into the video. So here we are. There is some really beautiful things around Hagley Park itself. Just viewing all the way down, you can just see the architecture of this. I mean, how far this possibly really does date back for the estate itself. Viewing all the way up. I remember 1 year ago when I stood right away underneath this. Just wow, the view of that is just really nice. And then the architecture of the pillar supports us right away, going all the way around. But not only that, wow, that is really breathtaking seeing the view going all the way down. You've got the bottom area where the pools are. If I just zoom in, you can just see we've got that other stand right away at the bottom with a big massive pool leading all the way around. So that's actually where we're going to be heading to. I'm going to see if there's a shortcut to get to there actually. We're going to go all the way around to it. So what I think I might do is go that path down there. And actually let's go straight to that and go and check that out first. Then we'll loop all the way around and go and check out the back areas. So there we go, one more view of the rotunda before we leave this section. But you can just see the patterns right away at the top. I must say that is really awesome to see that, and I think it's really good you're allowed to come up to it and get very close to it to stand underneath. But not only that, you really do get the best views by standing here and viewing all the way down. Perfect for some photograph opportunities here at Hagley Park itself. So right, here we go, the rotunda. Also related to the Littertons was amateur architect John Pitt of Encombe, who contributed the design for the rotunda. Following the already well established rotunda at Stowe, 1721, with its gilded statue of Venus, goddess of love and beauty, of gardens and gardeners, and to whom flowers and birds are sacred. The Hagley structure was erected in 1747 and holds no statue within. So there we go, a bit of information there telling you about the rotunda itself. But just from this section here, we've got all the old trees going all the way around, and once more a nice beautiful view of the rotunda, and still the view going right away to the bottom. So right, we're nearly there. We're going to go across a field, I believe now, going all the way down to get to the bottom part. But I've just noticed something really interesting just onto the floor. That is some very old glass. So right, this is actually the one last piece that I've actually just discovered. It's actually got patterns on it right the way there. And it does make you wonder how much this ground was actually used, the amount of people that have come over here from several times. So yeah, I'll keep hold of that and I'll drop it to the reception on the way out and just hand it to them, because it might come into interest for them. Because I have found quite a lot of other history around here. I found a very old gravestone for a horse, the Maid of all work, and if I do come back to that a bit later on, I will show it you in the video. It's really cool. You've got to look into very much detail in places like this. I imagine the estates really do date back a bit from generations and generations of family, like the Littletons. But I can't see any more on the floor, so I think it was that one little bit of area. Wow, look at the views down here. It's absolutely spectacular. We've got the pools. We've even got an urn right around the corner. You might be able to see a bit better compared to the very last video. But there's the urn right away there. I think there is a little bit of history behind it. And just here, you can just see the urn onto the corner there. You get a really nice view of it compared to the very last video. It's really cool to see that, and I think there is actually a bit of history behind it. There is a sign here, and also a very close-up image of the urn itself. So right, this is actually called Shenstones urn. The final architectural feature to embellish the Hagley landscape was the Shenstones urn. Erected as a memorial to Littleton's near neighbour, the poet and landscape designer William Shenstone. So going back to William Shenstone, you may know about Eliso's Park, the grade listed gardens which are over there. You imagine that ground really does date back a bit, and having William Shenstone having something to do with Hagley Park itself is really interesting. So just beneath the urn still bears a very weathered inscription composed by George Littleton to the memory of William Shenstone, in whose verses were all the natural graces and whose manners was all amiable simplicity of pastoral poetry with the sweet tenderness. So there we go, some interesting information about the urn itself, and also viewing the urn from this corner is really cool. Just give you one more view of it. So there's the urn itself, and also telling you a bit of information about it just right I wanted to sign. What I will do, if you want to pause the video and actually read that, then definitely feel free to. So going all the way down, you can feel free to read that. I didn't want to go into too much information about it, because I want to preserve my battery life as well to film as much of the park as possible, because we've got lots more to cover yet. And there we go, from the picture there, and also viewing one more time for you. tell you what, I must say this place is really beautiful for the way it's actually laid out. You can just see we've come from open land to now a wooded area, which is really cool. You can see the woodland stretching all the way to the back. It really does give me a feel, going back to the William Shenstone design of the urn, of the design of the Leaso's Park. It really does make me think that I'm actually there, panning all the way around. You can just see. I just love a place like this because you want to go to a place that's not going to be the same all the way throughout. You want it to be various sections like wooded areas, open, more scenic, so you've got it all in one to see. And it is a great place to spot the wildlife because you've got the views going right away down to the dip and the birds right away in the trees, which you can hear right away now. And then here we go, so relaxing. It is actually a conservation area. You can just see the dip going right away to the bottom. Just imagine how much wildlife comes in here from time to time, especially the deers as well. And then there we go, just coming out the woodland now, back into the open area with the fields right away at the back. You can just see, greeted with some gates going right away through, then opening back up into the more open land. It's real nice that, I must say, the work what I've done to make that the way it is really impressive. And here we go, we should be coming to the far bottom of the park where I wanted to actually go to, and then it leads right away to the top. But you can just see the open land from this corner. Just over in the distance we've got a very old well which we'll check out later in the video, so we'll come all the way back around this way and go and check that out one more time. But here we go. So right, this is actually called the Palladium Bridge. You get some real nice views. You've got the Palladium Bridge right away at the back. You can see the architecture and design of it right away at the bottom. And what I really love about it is the pool stretching all the way across. I have seen fish life in there. But not only that, we've got like a little weir coming down and then the pool from the top. But let's go and stand under the Palladium Bridge and get the views, that view all the way back up. So here we are, this is actually the little Palladium area right around the corner. You can just see the architecture right at the top. I love the design of the columns going right away up, giving it a real nice feature. You can just see panning all the way around. You've got the columns on this back corner and also this space just at the back area. But if we just view all the way around, check out this for some nice scenery. You've got the pool and you've even got the back area right away up there. You can just see the rotunda between the trees right away at the top. And I must say, this is a real spectacular view. I could stand here for hours just enjoying all of this. But wow, I must say, this is a real place to visit. If you've never been to Hagley Park, I'm going to have to say now, definitely come down to here and check it out. It's only £10 to go in. It's not that bad compared to, you know, various other places. You go around £10, some of them are really small. But this place has much to offer. If you're into your wildlife, if you're into your history, then this place is definitely worth to come with things like this and the scenery. Don't forget, bring a camera as well, because it's definitely worth it to take some nice photographs on your way. You can always look back on the photographs to remind you of the place. But not only that, coming down to the stairs onto the corner, you can just see the architecture right the way here and going all the way down. So right, there is an information board here stating the Palladium Bridge, designed and gifted to George Littleton by his nephew. So it says there, if you want to take a pause of the video and actually read that, there is interesting information and dates. It was completed by 1760. It says there, information in 1770. So there we go, definitely pause the video if you want and have a feel free to read that, it's really interesting. But wow, the sun's starting to come out now, we've got some nice views. But one more time, just up to the Palladium Bridge, right away up to here, we get the nice views. I'll show you one more time before we leave. But from the outside of it, you can just see the architecture right the way. I believe this really does date old, but it's had some revamps over the years to actually maintain it. But there we go, the view. Wow. So right, I hope you've enjoyed the video so far. So it's nice to go back over some of the things what we've seen in the last video, like the Palladium Bridge, the Rotunda. There's some real nice views up to there. I really love coming to this place. So even though I've been around here for about over an hour now, I've not even got bored. I'm just excited to see what other things are around here one more time. Maybe there might be things that I've missed, I really don't know. But you can just see there's some real steep hills. And you've got the views of all the ancient part of the wooded area going right away to the back. In a little while we're heading to a place called Milton Seat, where you get a really nice view of the Hagley Hall estate itself right away into the distance. We're going to show you that one, but I'll tell you what, this is the steepest part. I hate steep hills, but I'm excited. And it is a shame you can't really bring bikes onto this ground. Like a nice electric bike or something to hire out on the estate might be great as well. I think they should do improvements by doing that, allowing you to hire a bike maybe, just to go all the way up. But you can just see what I mean, it is really steep up. And this is where something like that would really come in for a place like this. This is why I'm really taking my time, because I don't want to knacker myself out. But you see the views are really going good already. We've got the views down into the distance. Yeah, drop it in the comments if you agree as well. Do you think that electric bikes would be perfect for this place? It's big enough for it, as long as you take your time and respect other people. I can't see why you can't bring anything like that. Because if you could, I'll be down here regular, and definitely then I would buy the season pass to come down. But for £10, I think I'll only visit this place once in a while really. Once you've seen it, but it's just nice to come down and see it for yourself. I wish I had my electric bike. I'm still walking up this steep hill, I'm going to have to take a break. The trouble is there's tons of walking to do for this place, but I'll tell you what, it's lovely. You can see the hill what we've climbed already. We've still got even more to go to get to the Milton Seat. A really big steep hill one more time. But I tell you what, for the wildlife over here, I must say it is really thriving. I've seen birds go from the treetops over there. I've seen the buzzard fly right away over, and I've even seen dragonflies go past me, maybe going to the bottom pool down onto the corner. I haven't seen the deers today, which is a real shame. I was expecting to see the deers over parts of here, but I think they move around on the estate, so they go from various areas. So here we are, we've made it, Milton Seat, just right away behind me. I tell you what, the views over here are absolutely lovely. You can see the Hagley Hall estate itself. I've actually just spotted the deers, which is really cool. Got a nice zoom in the video for you to show you. And you just see, zooming in, seeing the deers. I was looking forward to seeing the deers over here really. So I was expecting to see the deers on the main part itself over the park, but you do see most of the deers by Milton Seat overviewing the estate itself. Really cool to see that, and not only that, some really stunning views of the hall in the distance as well. So here we are, you get some really stunning views over here. You can just see right away into the distance if I zoom in. Wow, the views, it's very perfect if you've got a long range zoom camera. You can see right away in the distance on a clear day. You've got the whole estate right away at the bottom. The views of that are really stunning. You've got Hagley Hall right the way there. That is one place that I've never been inside yet, is Hagley Hall. I really want to get a chance to go in now. I think it's £10 the same as this, open at certain times of the year, so I will definitely go and check that one out when I can and see if I get permission to film inside there. But I tell you what, those views are absolutely stunning. You could sit there for hours and just enjoy the views right away into the distance. But here we go, back up some more steep hills. We're heading to a place on the last video where I discovered this horse's grave, the Maid of all work. Let's go and check it out one more time and actually still see if it's there. You see this gate right away here. This does look really old by viewing of it. I mean, it's rusty on parts. So at one point when the estate was whole, this was a gate covering something. I don't know if it's actually a straight path leading all the way up to where the castle is right away at the top. I think it actually does. But where we want to go is down to the bottom of the woodland, then turn that way to go all the way up to the castle. I think we'll go and head down there and go and check it out. Oh yeah, you really do get a nice view of the church down the Hagley Hall estate. If I zoom in, there's the church right away at the bottom. I didn't see that on the Milton Seat. But yeah, it is his path. I do remember it on the last video now. But you see, we're coming back into a nice wooded area, and I think there is some more old gates right away at the bottom. I tell you what though, I really do love discovering things like this because it really does give you a sense of how old this estate is altogether. I mean, those rusty gates are a really nice sight to see. But if I zoom in, you can just see they're doing maintenance work. We've got like a little truck there, got loads of spades and shovels. So I think they're doing lots of maintenance work down on the dip, I think, to actually maintain the path. I just chatted to a lovely bloke. He's doing some maintenance work, cutting all this back, maintaining all the landscape for its history. If I just show you on the corner here. On the very last video, all this was completely all overgrown. The corner there, he's actually just told me there's like a little bit of a culvert coming all the way down with very old brick. You just see the brickwork that's been revealed all the way up. So there is history here, but all the nature's really taken back onto it. And then what I wanted to see one more time was these very old gates. You can just see onto the corner here, we've got some very old chain. And then once more, you can see the chain on this corner. And the pole's very rusty. But not only that, the gate what was on here ages ago has just been put to the side, so maybe they might restore that so you can actually open and close it. So once more, it's nice to see people dedicated to the history. He told me a story about how he got into the job. He loves all of his landscape gardening related to the past centuries of history. So he's talking about a story as to how he got back into it from his fitness. He was feeling unwell. This place was all a bit run down, so he said to me that he was going to decide to pack in his job. So he thought he will carry back onto it, and now it's gone really great like this. It was nice to talk to somebody, who loves stuff like this. So yeah, do you think it might be worth coming back again, in another 6 or so months and see what improvements have been made? Give it a little bit of a while and we'll see what this path actually looks like, because he said there's going to be more work done, so when it's actually been done it's worth coming back to actually see it. So we might keep that in mind and we might come back, but I might actually get the season ticket so I can come back to this place, and we may actually do some wildlife videos around here. I've spotted quite a lot of wildlife in general itself. You see, this is really my favourite area because it does remind you in Clent Hills at this part. And then all the wooded areas just at the back. So right, I'm trying to find out where this stone was, where I found something called the Maid of all work. So I think they might have improved it by putting an information sign next to it. So I did say to them at the reception, it might be perfect if you put an information sign there to make more people aware of it. Because I think I was the one who discovered it back when it first ever opened up. So someone come down, checked it out, and was like, wow, I haven't seen that before. It was actually a gravestone for a horse that belonged to the Hagley estate in the old days. So let's go and check and see if it's actually still there and see if they've done any work by it. So right, finding this thing took a long time. I think it's been moved slightly, I don't know. So if we just carefully head up to here it is. But it's completely covered with a bit of moss again at the moment. So originally this would actually say the Maid of all work with a date onto there. So one more time, you can just see the footage from last video. This is actually what this looked like. So it's a real shame to see they haven't really maintained this, because I said in the reception area, yeah, we've seen it, but it's not maintained. So my little hint, if you see the video, definitely save this piece of history, don't let this go to waste. Because it's sitting here and nothing's being done with it. So yeah, there we go. But it's a shame to see all the stuff taken back on it. It's absolutely soaking wet. I think some of the writing's actually starting to fade out as well. But that's definitely it, the Maid of all work. Oh, I had to climb up another steep hill, guys. Wow. But here we are with Maid. You get the best views of the castle now. The architecture, this is absolutely stunning. You can just see, you get a real close view of it if you come all the way down. I just love the architecture of the wall that comes all the way out, and you've got the windows there. And viewing all the way through, you can see the windows on that corner. Then the windows up there, but not only that, we've got patterns of the doorway leading all the way in. But I must say, it's really cool to see it from the outside. But I personally think they should restore this so they allow you to walk all the way around it. I mean, it's been a year since I've been here, but nothing's really changed of this. It's still the same. But I personally think they should let you walk all the way through and see what it's like from the outside of it. And at least let you walk all the way to the top to see the views from up there. So it says here, designed for George Littleton by local amateur architect Sanderson Miller. The iconic ruined castle was completed in 1747, possibly replacing an earlier tower which, if not built, was at the very least planned by his grandfather, Sir Charles Littleton, late in the previous century during his re-emparkment of Hagley begun in 1693. So once more, there is a bit of history on there, so if you want to pause the video to read that bit at the moment, then definitely feel free to. So it goes over more about, you know, the reason why it was actually built and various other things just down onto there. But it's absolutely really cool to see that just from the outside, so maybe it might get restored in time, I really don't know. But the fencing's actually been there since the very last video when I come down to it. But what we're going to do now is go and head all the way now back to where we come from. Journey all the way through to the other side, so I think I might take this path and go back down that way. I'm going to go all the way down to the Jacob's Well, go and check that out, and then we'll loop all the way back down and then head to the reception that way. So let's go and journey on and enjoy the rest of the cinematics. Here we are, this is Jacob's Well. But I mean, you wouldn't believe you would find something like this right away at the top. It's got some architecture like what you would find at a churchyard. If I pan around to show you, yeah, it's got some like church-like features going all the way up, which is really cool. You've got the Hagley Church, which is right away at the bottom. So it does mention some history. It says there, 1753. Lots of interesting stuff on there, talking about poets. I've just noticed something. I mean, I was just talking about churches. It says there, 1860, to the Church of St John the Baptist that stands between Hagley Hall and the park. Something about a spire. It says there, architectural fragment. I mean, it does, when you view of it, Jacob's Well just really does remind you of part of a church. It really does. But it's crazy to think that you've got a well further away from the hall itself, right away into some fields and some nice views. It's just stunning. But if I just pan all the way around, you can get a nice little bit of view there. So I think it drops down into a massive dip and there's tons of water down there, I believe. But you do get a nice view of the architecture from this corner. Drop it in the comments what you think about that. Does that remind you of part of a church as well, or is it just me thinking that? But yeah, just taking a little bit of a rest. I'm absolutely tired now. Lots of hills around here. But yeah, well, definitely will come back. That's a definite. We're going to cover more around the back area over that way, because there is some more paths what I've not taken yet coming here. But I just wanted to recap on some of the interesting things what are here with my battery life what I've got at the moment. And I can't believe my camera's literally on 20% of the battery. We've still got a little bit to cover. When I get out the park, I want to talk to you about several things, about possible improvements, what could be made, what I think about the park itself. You know, I'll talk to you one more time, is it worth visiting? But we'll journey down here, we're going to take a nice walk now, past the tree line here and walk all the way to the reception area. Greet them back out and then we'll end the video by the car park. Let's go. Right, I tell you what, I've really enjoyed that. It's been absolutely fantastic. I've enjoyed going around, seeing all the views, seeing the rotunda, seeing all the different seat houses what are over there, giving it a different feel and a different walk for a change compared to, going to Clent Hills, going to Witchbury Hill. It's a nice local place. If you've never been, I'm going to say it's definitely worth to come and check it out. Pay for £10 and just explore it, at least once to see if you like it or not. But I've been told the season ticket's going from £40 and it's rising. I personally think they should keep it at £40. I don't think they should do it for any more. For the custom what I've got at the moment, if you look at the car park, you can just see it's not overly busy. You would expect, like on a school holiday, for this car park to be absolutely rammed and, swarming with people. But there's only a few, which is a real shame, and it's something that I wanted to talk about. This is why I'm promoting the video a little bit, to, encourage more people to come and check out something really nice. But there is some slight improvements what could be made with the place itself. I've been round it and I must say part of it are really great. I think some parts of it could be like cut back a little bit with some of the overgrowth, to reveal more things. Like that person was doing right the way at the bottom, who was revealing much history. Now it's been a year since I've been to this place and I've started doing little bits and pieces. So within that time frame you think, has anything really changed or not? But they are doing work, but it's doing at a very, very slow pace within inside the place itself, I've noticed. And another thing what could be an improvement is to, save that sign what I found, the Maid of all work. That is history. We even talked about it in the reception, mentioned bits and pieces about that. To see it overgrown, it is a real shame, I must say. But yeah, there is little bits of improvements. And the cafe, this is not my improvement, but this is actually somebody that I talked to, mentioned about the cafe itself. Inside there, I've noticed that they don't sell much food at all. It's more of like vegan food, several other foods, but they don't sell much in the range. So maybe by expanding the cafe a little bit more further within the range of stuff what you can get from there. The coffee is absolutely delicious at this place. I really do love the coffee. Had a latte a couple of days ago for £3. It is not bad. Or you just have a drink in there, sit on the seats on the outside, or stay inside the cafe. So it's really good if you want to pop by and have a drink, but the range of food could be improved. So there is some other improvements. I don't know, the car park's looking much better than what it did do compared to the very last time we ever came here. So when it first opened, much of the land was really spoiled. It was just completely full of soil where the workers dug all the way out. So I must say it's really looking improved compared to the very last time I've been here. And one more improvement for the place, add toilets to your grounds around several areas. You can't keep walking back and forth to the reception to go to the toilet, considering how big the land is. So maybe by putting some mobile toilets farther back, further in several places, because you want to explore the grounds more, but if you're coming back and forth, it's going to really tire you out. And yeah, more facilities over there, more like, washroom areas, that'll be fantastic. But yeah, overall, definitely worth coming. If you've not been here, come and check it out. It's really lovely. I'm going to come back again, don't get me wrong. Apart from mentioning improvements, it's just awesome. I just really do love it. It never gets boring over there. There's always some really good scenery. You move from one area, it's completely different. Like I went into a bit of a wooded area and it just really changed into an open area. I just love that landscape. It is really fantastic, I must say. And to see the views of the Hagley by the Milton seat, wow, what a trip that was just to see that. But yeah, if you've enjoyed the video, smash that like button, I really do appreciate it. And yeah, I'm going to head home now, I'm going to get some videos edited, and stay tuned for more exploring the Black Country. So sadly I've not been on my bike for a few days. I've had punctures on both wheels, same for the old bike as well, my Zinc e-bike, that's also punctured. So I haven't been able to use that bike for a few days or so. So yeah, I've got to now try and get some money to get the wheels done for the side rusher what I've got. It's going to cost over £100. I don't know how long it's going to take me to do that, but if you guys do want to help out, I do much appreciate it. If you want to support, then go and hit that super like. I believe it's a super thanks on the video, and it allows you to donate as much as you want, even a couple of quid. Feel free if you would like to do that, I much appreciate it. But you don't have to, it's there if you want to do it. But yeah, anything helps, even the money raised from my YouTube is going to help me get that bike back on the road and explore the Black Country even further. But yeah, see you soon, the Midlands Outdoors out, and thank you very much for watching.